Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fazlul Karim bin Muhammad Nasir, with metric number A230D36F. So today I'm going to present my research paper on the title of Awareness of Muslim Community in Kota Baru region toward importance of hibah, facilitate Muslim inheritance, demographic evidence. First of all, I would like to thank to my beloved supervisor, Dr. Zulkifli, which have been very nice to me and support me throughout finishing this research paper. So overall, I have thanks him a lot because he showed me how to do this research work and have very lenient to me all along the journey of finishing this research paper. Okay, so for chapter 1, we are going to present on the hibah philosophy, which is hibah, the element of property distribution for Muslim rather than faraid. So practice of hibah is in order to inspire Muslim in order to assign certain properties according to their own desire, which is in order to assign their property toward their beloved child or beloved wife or any other family members instead of going through a faraid process. So wealth acquisition and wealth gain must be well managed and need to be complied with the requirement of Sharia. In Surah An-Nisa, Muslim encourages to do inheritance according to the Sharia law, which is mentioned in Surah An-Nisa, which is a sign of the faraid of asset distribution, where the male and female are giving a portion accordingly. So on the background of study, Islamic wealth management was aimed to acquire good proposition in this world and hereafter. So the aim of this study is in order for us to understand more about how we manage our wealth accordingly, so we can get the reward in this dunya and also in the hereafter, after the death. So it will create a harmonical event where when we success to do a very good job on distributing our wealth. So this is the problem statement. So why this study is tend to take my attention is because as we can see here, from 2009 until 2011, it shows an increasing of the frozen asset, where in 2009 it stated that 40 billion of the asset have been frozen. For 2011, we can see that another 42 billion also have been frozen due to the lack of the knowledge of inheritance, and also it further increased to 60 billion in 2013. This data is according to Fazira 2014. So in Harian Metro 2020, it stated that almost 70 billion frozen asset has been frozen. This is because due to the lack of awareness on the knowledge about asset distribution process. So this valuable asset have been frozen and become counterproductive toward the nation. Why? Because we cannot generate any profit or any tax charges imposed toward the asset. Hence, zakat are not being imposed to this kind of frozen asset. Therefore, an alternative should be found out in order to prevent the swelling of this frozen asset, because many entities and a group of company come out with a hibah solution, whether it's conditional hibah or hibah trust. So this is a research question where I stated there are 3 research questions would like to be studied in this research paper. So the first is, does there are any differences between demographic factor, age, gender and educational background toward awareness of Muslim community in Kota Baru region toward importance of hibah to facilitate Muslim inheritance. Second is to see any significant relationship between suitability of age in doing hibah, level of knowledge on hibah, family background and asset position toward the awareness of Muslim community in Kota Baru toward adoption of hibah. So the third one is, does there any influence of suitability of age in doing hibah, level of knowledge on hibah, family background, and asset position toward the awareness of Muslim community in Kota Baru region to the importance of hibah? So this is the research objective where it divided into two. The first one is general objective. The second one is specific research objective. So for the general research objective is to study and examine what are the factors that influencing the awareness of Muslim toward hibah. So for the specific research objective, it is to examine the difference between demographic factor, gender, and educational background toward awareness of Muslim community in Kota Baru region toward importance of hibah in facilitate Muslim inheritance. Second is to examine the relationship between suitability of age in doing hibah, level of knowledge on hibah, family background, and asset possession toward awareness of Muslim community toward importance of hibah. So the third one is to ascertain the effect of suitability of age, hibah, in doing hibah, level of knowledge on hibah, also family background, and also asset possession toward the awareness of Muslim community in Kota Baru region toward importance of hibah facilities in Muslim inheritance. So this is significant of the study. Why we are going to study on awareness of importance of the hibah is because in order to guarantee the success of this world and also in the hereafter. Second is hibah is element of property distribution which is contained in the concept of property management in Islam. So hibah need to be understood because it is very important in order to manage our wealth distribution effectively. The third one is early awareness of hibah application is very important among the community to help decreasing in the accumulation of trend on frozen asset. The fourth one is significant for others in finding an alternative to overcome the accumulation of frozen asset in the future by identifying what are the factors might affect the awareness. So this here are the operational definition where we take place in this research paper is hibah itself. Another one Islamic inheritance include of faraid, wasiyah, and also hibah. So the third one is awareness of Muslim community which is affecting by the level of knowledge, suitability of age, family background, and amount of asset possession. So this is the organizational of the study where it consists of 5 chapters throughout the research paper, where in the chapter 1 is briefly discussed on the hibah and also the background of study, research question, research objective, significance of study, and also the chapter may have an overview toward the reader on understanding what is the entire research is all about. In chapter 2 is content of literature review on the existing study relating to the hibah and wealth management. The third one is in the chapter 3 where a research methodology which have been implemented in the study is being discussed, as this chapter also is presenting the research design, the population and the sample of study sampling method, variable and measurement, as well as the way of data collected being analyzed. In chapter 4, the finding and the result of the data analyzed is being presented, which all the result of variable is indicate, and followed by normality, reliability test, and the result of hypothesis being presented in this chapter. Lastly, in chapter 5, we will discuss the finding and contribution of the study. In chapter 5, we also will construct several recommendation and limitation of the study in order for improvement for another research in the future. So in chapter 2, we have an overview of study where it's recorded an increasing trend of frozen asset, where all the story about hibah which leads to the low awareness of on the inheritance process, which leads to the increasing of trend on the frozen asset from year by year. So this issue could be resolved if we understand more about the Islamic wealth inheritance and including hibah itself. So in Islamic wealth management and distribution, there are various ways of asset distribution according to Sharia law. This include faraid, wasiyah, and also hibah. So the concept of Islamic property administration and management cover 5 major elements, which is property revenue with effort and energy, means and saving on and investment, sake of future comfort, will of instrument, and also zakat and charity. So for the current practice of hibah in facility in the industry, So for bank, this being used as a co-product for financial institutions such as contract of purchase al-bay, lease ijarah, kafalah ar-rahn, company al-sharika, loan card and saving al-wadiyah, where hibah is applied together with all this contract. But in Muslim asset management, there are two types of hibah we should know, which is hibah trust and conditional hibah. So for condition of hibah, in according to Muda 2008, hibah which must include ijab and qabul. So in hibah, these two conditions are very crucial in determining the legality of the contract itself. So second is in addition to the stipulation of the term in return in form of material in the hibah agreement. The third one is requirement in grant as well can occur when the grantor place term in his grant that the grantee needs to do or not do in order to perform a specific act or action in order to acquire the hibah of the asset. So this show the pillar of hibah and its condition, where there are three pillars of hibah, which is grantor al-wahib, second is grantor recipient al-mawhub lahu, the third one is good for property donated, where the condition must be halal, the good and property must have value according to the side of Sharia, and then the good or property belong to the grantor, cannot be belong to other party, it can be handed over. The fifth, the asset really does exist when donated. The sixth one is the property is not connected with other property, which means there are more than one name in one asset. So this is a theoretical framework from the previous research, where we take this to adopt during this research, where all the factors that we would like to study will follow this type of theoretical framework. So this theoretical framework was proposed by Nur Shuhada et al. 2020. So how phenomena of the study are contributed by or influenced by all independent variables chosen to be tested in the study. So here we are going to know on how age of asset owner, level of knowledge about hibah, family background and asset possession of the owner may influencing the decision to do hibah as a preparation for asset distribution. So from there we construct a research hypothesis where the first hypothesis is there is a relationship between suitability of age in doing hibah and the awareness of Muslim community toward hibah contract in inheritance of asset among the Kota Bharu Muslim community. Second is there is a relationship between level of knowledge and awareness of Muslim community toward hibah contract in inheritance of asset among the Kota Bharu Muslim community. The third one is there is a relationship between family background and awareness of Muslim community toward hibah contract in inheritance of asset among Kota Bharu Muslim community. The fourth is there is a relationship between asset possession and awareness of Muslim community toward hibah contract in inheritance of asset among Kota Bharu Muslim community. So the third one is research methodology, where in this chapter the researcher will explain on the method used to conduct the study. A brief research design will be explained during this chapter. So this is the research design, where for this proposal a quantitative is proposed to do a quantitative study, which will conduct the gathering of data on the respondent. So according to KASU, a very significant decision in research design process is a choice to be made regarding research approach, since it determines how relevant information for the study will be obtained. So in here, a quantitative research method deal with quantifying and analyze variable in order to get the result. The study was conducted tend to test hypothesis mentioned earlier according to the data collected. So this is the population and sampling, where the sample size will be selected randomly among Muslim CIMB Bank staff, Lembaga Tabung Haji and Amanah Saham Nasional staff at Kota Bharu Kelantan. So the main reason is Kelantan chosen is because the fact of 95% of the community of the population is all the Muslim. So it covers almost 95% of the population in Kelantan among the Muslim. Hence, this will justify more on the awareness of hibah contract among the Muslim community itself. So this sampling frame, where mentioned earlier, CIMB Bank Islamic, Tabung Haji, Amanah Saham Nasional Berhad was chosen in order to become the sampling frame of this research. So the sampling process we adopt on the table sample size decision from Kersey and Robert V. Morgan, where we state that all the three organizations have at least 180 population. So the best number of sample for this research is 123 respondents. So location of study will be located in Kota Baru, Kelantan. Specifically, will conduct the study on CIMB Islamic Bank, Lembaga Tabung Haji, and Amanah Saham Nasional, all these three entities offering hibah as a solution to facilitate the distribution of asset to the customer. So research instrument. For the research study, instrument are set of questionnaire comprises of suitability of age in doing hibah, level of knowledge on hibah, family background, and asset position related question were constructed. So around 123 units of questionnaire to be prepared in order to distribute to the respondent, whereby 180 will be considered as quality outcome of the sample. So another 100 questionnaire will be divided into two, where is to maintain on the pilot study. For the data analysis purpose, an SPSS of version of 28 will be used. So the analysis was mainly descriptive with data about suitability of age doing hibah and all the mentioned variable before. So in this research also, a pilot test will be conducted on 180 sample will become a pilot test for the research. Thus, 50 of the sample will be distribute a questionnaire in order to test on the pilot test. So this is the data analysis plan, where the primary data gathered using 5-point Likert scales questionnaire. So the statistic package for the social science SPSS is used to run the following related statistical tests, which is normal test, normality test, reliability test, validity test, independent sample t-test, ANOVA, and Pearson correlation. So expected finding, it is expected the data collected will support the suitability of age, the level of knowledge, family background, and asset possession toward the awareness of Muslim community in the contract toward hibah contract in inheritance of asset. So this is conceptual framework where suitability, where we have mentioned earlier, it followed the theoretical framework before. So we can see that suitability of age doing hibah, level of knowledge on hibah, family background, asset possession have a significant relationship toward the awareness of Muslim community toward hibah contract in inheritance of asset. So data analysis and finding. The result of the data that have been analyzed for this research are presented in this chapter. Therefore, we will test the normality test, reliability test, descriptive statistic analysis, independent sample t-test, ANOVA, and Pearson correlation. Some tests will be used during this chapter 4. So this is the result of normality test, where we can see all the variable have can analyze a way of utilize the result of skewness and quarter statistic, where the result is under normal, showing a normal normal toward the variables. So this is the reliability test. So this is the reliability test, where we can see suitability of age doing hibah have the highest Cronbach of alpha, where 0. Where the value of Cronbach alpha is 0.809, while the level of knowledge have the 0.861. Nevertheless, the other variables such as family background is 0.659, and the position of score of 0.830. So this is one on the descriptive statistic of data, where we can see the frequency of male respond to the questionnaire is 73, and followed by female 50, which see male are more dominant in this study. So this is descriptive analysis toward education background, where we can see the highest number of respondents answering this question is on the bachelor degree, which followed by diploma, and then STPM, SPM, and master degree. So this is a descriptive testing analysis where we can see the mean and standard deviation on the suitability of age, knowledge on hibah, family background, and asset position toward the awareness of hibah itself. So this one is a result on the t-test of the gender indicator, where t-test is used to test on the two different group of item. So for this problem, we can see gender have two type of group, which is female and male. Therefore, to test these two kind of group, it is suitable to be tested by t-test. So as we can see for the result, the F value indicate of 3.794 and the significant value of 0.054. Therefore, it can be stated that gender also influencing the awareness of doing hibah. So this is on the ANOVA. So ANOVA is another form of test in order to test more than two group of respondent. So for education background, we have stated that there are at least 5 group of respondent have answered this kind of questionnaire. So from base of the F value of for the educational background 0.730 and the significant value is 0.573, this value show there is no significant difference between educational background and awareness of Muslim community toward hibah contract. So this is show the correlation of hibah which support the hypothesis test. So as we can see, person correlation for suitability of age is 0.806 with the significant value of 0.000, where it shows the person correlation approaching to value of 1, where there is a relationship between suitability of age in doing hibah toward the awareness of Muslim community on adoption of hibah. So this one is a level of knowledge in hibah, where we can see the person correlation is 0.768 and the significant value is 0.000, where this value show a positive relationship with the awareness of Muslim community toward hibah. So for family background, we can see that there is a person correlation is the highest, where it state 0.861 with the significant value is 0.000, where this show that there is a strong relationship between the family background and awareness of Muslim community toward hibah. So this one is asset possession, where we can see only 0.386, which is far from the value of 1, with the significant value of 0.000, show that there is a relationship between asset possession toward the Muslim awareness of Muslim community on hibah, but it show a very moderate relationship between both of the variable. So in chapter 5, we will tell on the discussion about the result we obtain and also some recommendation and also contribution of the study. So contribution of the study: by conducting this research will contribute on the knowledge about the factor which will directly affect the awareness on the hibah adoption among the Muslim in Kota Bharu, Kelantan. Besides, this research will also contribute on the study of wealth management, as it can become a future reference for the new research on the same field. By understanding the factor which affect the awareness, so we can help the authority to related organization to develop a countermeasure that can be used in order to overcome the problem on the delay of wealth distribution, and also help the problem on incremental on frozen asset could be countered effectively. So there are some limitation of the study during conducting the study. One of the limitation is the full movement control order, which has been implemented in Malaysia, which have limit ourselves in doing this research. This is because of the limitation in movement to distribute the questionnaire and conducting a field research among the respondents. So it's quite challenging for us, but we managed to get the respondent to answer all the needed question. And another challenge faced by the researcher is difficulty on obtaining feedback from all respondents. So there are some respondents are reluctant to answer the questionnaire, but still we have managed to get at least 123 respondents in order to support this research result. So this recommendation for the future research, first is for the respondents selected, it should be expanded into a bigger community instead of Kelantan. Therefore, maybe in the future, the research can make on the Malaysia Muslim community in order to study on what are the awareness of Malaysian Muslim community toward awareness of hibah. So second is the institution involved, especially in managing hibah and wealth distribution, must make a more aggressive move in promoting the knowledge on how important of hibah is. The third one is a responsibility family man or the leader of the family must well manage on how they are going to distribute their wealth to their heir. So this will help them manage their property well after their demise. So as the conclusion, the research was carried to the field, so it concludes that all the construct have the positive relationship between the awareness of hibah. However, it indicate that family background has the strongest relationship between awareness of Muslim community toward hibah, with the percent correlationship value of R 0.861 among all other variables tested. Hence, this show that family background have a good sense, and which have a good sense of responsibility toward their family background. All respondents agreed that it will make them more aware on their asset distribution process, which might happen on their bequest. So when we have the sense of responsibility toward our family, it will help us do a more better decision in doing in selecting how we gonna distribute our wealth after we die. So that's all from me, and thank you for the listening.